Hi, it is Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Today we're talking about action-oriented decision making. So what is action-oriented decision making? It is when we make decisions in a grounded, rational state. Don't we wish we could do that more often? But in this busy, hectic world, there are very few decisions where we really sit down and say, wow, this is an important decision. We sit down, we talk about it, we look at the pros, we look at the cons, and we make a decision. Instead, we get into all of the hustle and bustle and the stress. And, salespeople really maximize on this. They trap us by, creating these time limited and these pressured so that we make emotional reactionary decisions. But really what we want is to create a grounded presence. And we do that through mindfulness. And so mindfulness is the sense of being present in the here and now without judgment and having radical acceptance. So we accept what is presented to us without judgment, without shame, without guilt. We just stay in the here and now and look at what is presented and then act in an action-oriented manner. And so, the cognitive bias is this negative idea that things won't turn out the way we want, and we see the negative first, and that comes in all the time in decision making. We always kind of consider the what if before we consider the possibility. And so that right there kind of distorts us from being able to be in a rational state. But the more that we can ground, the more that we can look at kind of what our triggers are. We call that emotional intelligence. Like, what are our triggers? What are the things that make us feel pressured? What are the things that make us feel like we have to perform? What are the things that make us people please? Do we get people pleasing, right? It's really hard. And you know what people pleasing is? It's the avoidance of saying no. So we're so afraid to upset somebody. We're so afraid to set a boundary, to say no, that we just get caught in people pleasing. And that right there, when we have the acceptance that no judgment, no shame, no blame, no guilt, that what we want to do is to make people happy. We want them to like us. And so we choose to not say no. And instead we ground and say, well, let me think about this a little bit more. I think I need a little more time before I make a decision. Helps us to find one decision towards a more grounded, action-oriented state. The last thing that we want to do is to feel manipulated. And just because that person may feel good that they made a sale or they got something from you, if you don't feel good about it yourself and you feel like you were manipulated or taken advantage of, then that's going to keep you in that negative cycle. And that's what we're trying to get out of, because the more that you're in a negative cycle, the more that you avoid, the more that you make irrational, emotional decisions. So we ground, we learn what our triggers are. We learn, like, when do I make a good decision? Okay, let's see. Well, I'm not hungry. I've eaten. I'm sober. I don't have any under the influence of anything, even caffeine sometimes. It'll crash your blood sugar or make you really jittery. And then you're like, well, let's just get this over with. I gotta go do something. So we're not under the influence of anything. We are in a calm state. We're grounded. We can feel, okay, I know my shoes that I'm in. I feel the ground that I'm in. I know where I'm at. I am connected with my mind. I am connected with my body. I want to look at all the options. I want to really hear it. I don't want to hear what your opinion is. I want to know numbers. I want to know data. I want valid data points, because our mind, that cognitive bias, is going to give us a bunch of invalid data points that will lean us towards what that person wants us to say. And so what we have to do is we have to take a deep breath, find the valid data points, not the propaganda that's given to us, but really, what does it mean? If somebody says, like, election is up. If someone says that You know, we're going to give food out to everybody. We're going to give free food to everybody. You never have to learn, you know, you're never going to have to work for food ever again. It's just going to be a given. Okay, well, that's great, but okay, Socratic questioning with this one, you know, what does that really mean? What's an example of that? Like, we want to get a little bit deeper to understand what are the valid data points, because that's not a rational, valid statement. That is a very wide sweeping statement. We're using all or none, so we know that we're in a dichotomy, and when we're in a dichotomy, we're in an anxious place. Nothing is all or none. There's always shades of gray. That's a lot of dichotomous statements I'm saying, but it is true. You know, there is shades of gray in between, and we can't rely on dichotomies because we're in an emotional state and we're being asked to make an emotional decision, not a logical, grounded decision. So as you are making big decisions out there, whether it's what school you want to go to, what job you want to take, where you want to live, who you want to vote for, whatever the case may be, wherever your heart takes you, make it rational, and be action oriented. Take a deep breath, ground, do a body scan, feel where you're at, connect your body to your mind, start asking questions, weave out some of these data points. Is this valid or is it invalid? Do I feel this way or is it actually there? What is my perception and what is reality? I am Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness. I hope this helps you in making some big decisions out there, because once you go through that door, you've got to shut it. You cannot go back. Thank you so much. Hi, it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness. I hope you like this video. And if you do, please go and like, share, and comment below. I am really passionate about, you know, helping people live a happier and healthier life. And I really do believe that our mind is the secret, the way in which we can get into a better place. If we can just understand, be present, and understand what our mind is doing. There's no judgment, there's no shame. The mind is just acting like an organ and trying to find survival. So I do appreciate your time watching my videos. I do hope that you will subscribe to my page, get some exclusive content. Go to my website, Counseling Wellness Solutions, to look at all of the variety of things that I have to offer. I really like the idea of being able to offer a variety of supports, from these free videos to newsletters to subscriptions where you get monthly challenges and accountability partners and learn a lot more about what your brain is doing and why you act and react and why people act and react the way that they do. I have self-help books. I've got a workbook coming out later this month, or actually next month in September, that I hope that you'll enjoy, that will walk you through and build a framework to happiness and success. I've got groups, success groups. One's kicking off on September 9th, and we're going to go through 9 weeks of living a life worth living. Next 9 weeks will be the emotional reasoning, and the third 9 weeks will be interpersonal skills. How do we negotiate our value? How do we ask for more money? How do we ask to be in a better place? And how do we lean on people to get that? And then I have my individual therapy and coaching. So if you're wanting a more specific support, I'm here for that as well. So as well as my boutique retreats where it's just 3 people, me, you, and 2 others, looking at how we build this sense of accountability, how we really interject in our lives, what is causing us despair, and how do we break through it in an intensive 3-day retreat. So go and like my page, put some comments down, start that accountability, look at my website. Thank you so much for supporting me. I look forward to helping you in any way that I can. Thank you so much.